Jey Uso fans are going to want to hear what old CM Punk had to say, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what Punk had to say and why he got people kind of up in arms, because we know that Jey Uso is coming off of a massive win, the biggest win of his career. And no, it's not the Intercontinental Championship, which was a significant moment because it marked the first ever singles championship that he has held in WWE. He had it for a cup of coffee, ultimately dropped it back to Braun Breaker. Now, I'm talking about the Royal Rumble because after time and time again being put in big-time situations against big-time opponents with big-time titles on a big-time stage, Jey Uso, a week after he put over World Heavyweight Champion Gunther in the main event of Saturday night's main event, Jey Uso, he outlasted the likes of CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and ultimately eliminated the WWE GOAT, John Cena, to cash in his opportunity to challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship of his choosing at the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania 41, this April in Las Vegas. Will he go after undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes? Will he go after the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther? Now, I think it's pretty clear cut. I think most people would agree that Jey Uso will be going after Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. They teased it on Monday Night Raw this week. It doesn't make much sense for Jey to go after a fellow babyface in Cody Rhodes. And all reports, all indications is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is going to be the match. John Cena's already declared himself for the Elimination Chamber, so that's how they're going to get past that. Moving back to CM Punk, who is reportedly primed and planned for a triple threat match against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Now, Punk, he had some interesting comments, to say the least. First, he came out and he talked about how he wished it was him and John Cena in the final two, just so he could eliminate John Cena one more time, costing his old rival an opportunity to go to WrestleMania, potentially breaking the world title record at number 17. But then that was Pat McAfee. Then he was on the Good Guy, Bad Guy podcast, and he made some very interesting comments in regards to Jey Uso's Royal Rumble win, which has been very controversial. Some fans think that it was justifiable. Some fans think it's outrageous. It really just depends on which side of the fence you fall on and whether or not you're a Jey Uso fan and supporter and believer. So CM Punk said, Jey winning is fantastic when you have somebody in there like John Cena that everyone is going to immediately assume, LOL, Cena is going to win. When there are 30 people in the Rumble, male or female, that is 30 fan bases, at least 29 fan bases, that you are going to converge and hate whoever wins. So let's break a few things down. Number one, the belief, the speculation, all signs, even Vegas had John Cena as a minus 200 favorite winning that match. Okay, that's how big of an opportunity John Cena had, where it made the most sense. With them eliminating John Cena, it was an ultra shock. It was an ultra shock to the fans in attendance. It was a shock to the fans watching at home. Jey Uso played it up extremely well. You could literally hear, or not hear, but you could see his mouth moving OS, oh crap, PG terms. And so it was like, wait, was that supposed to happen? No, it was supposed to happen. What? Oh my God, Jey Uso just won the match. He just eliminated the WWE GOAT. It was a really, really cool moment, a really cool segment in time, and just a moment in time. In regards to the fan bases, you have to keep in mind, and I made so many videos in 2024 talking about how Jey Uso is continuously screwed over by the powers that be in WWE creative, that regardless of how good he is in the promos, how good he is in the ring, how over this guy is, they book him up against top tier talent, whether it was Intercontinental Champion then, Gunther, or Damian Priest for the world title, or Money in the Bank, or X, Y, and Z, Gunther most recently, where you put him in these big time situations, you build him up, and he just loses every single time. And so it hurts the fan base in their belief that Jey Uso can A, ever win the big one, B, win big matches, and C, become a main event guy. Like, you can call him main event Jey Uso, but when you book him like he's not a main event guy, fans are not going to believe in him. And I think that's one of the issues where it's like, okay, he wins a Royal Rumble, and there's half of the fan base where it's like, okay, we've seen this guy mature and grow in WWE for the last, 10 years, and he's almost 40, and he's been through it all, and he's headlined WrestleManias, and he's won the Intercontinental title, and he won the tag team titles, but he still never won the big one. And then you have the other side of the fan base where it's like, hey, what are we doing? Like, we've seen this guy come up time and time again. He always falls short. He never wins the big one. They don't believe in his in-ring work, right? And so it's like, this guy shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble. Now he's going to go and beat Gunther, who looks the part as a world champion, who acts the part as the world champion, who talks like a world champion, who wrestles as a world champion. And you're going to have Jey Uso beat that guy? Like, what are we doing? And, oh, by the way, that guy in Gunther just beat Jey Uso a week prior, right? So you wonder why people might have an issue with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. It's like, oh, well, that would all make sense, right? Like, I always, on this channel, I always try to look ahead. I'm always looking ahead to the next feud, or where they're going, or what WWE is doing with someone right now, because I'm trying to predict, okay, in the future, this may come back and bite you. And I think this is a perfect example of that. And Punk talking about how there are 30 people, therefore there are 30 different fan bases. It's true, right? You had one side of the population where it's like, okay, we want John Cena to win this match. It's his last Royal Rumble. And we want to see him go on to WrestleMania, punch his ticket to WrestleMania, win the world title, break the record. Oh, yeah, it's his retirement year. And then the other side is like, hey, it's Jey Uso. Like, this guy's been here day in, day out for the last 10 years. This guy's been on the road. This guy is mega over, to the point where on this past week's episode of Monday Night Raw, he comes out for an entrance, and the fans are going nuts, and they're chanting chanting for his theme song to play yet again, and so they repeat it over and over again, right? He's making appearances with rappers and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, Jey Uso is over. And so when you're over like that, you have to recognize, okay, this guy may not look the part, and this guy may not act the part, and this guy may not be the guy long term, but by God, he is over like Rover. He was within the top 5 most merch sellers on Royal Rumble weekend, according to Fightful Select. And so in this business, are you going for 5-star matches, or are you going to draw money? Which one do you want to do? And they're going to draw money with Jey Uso, and